Well, good morning, and welcome to the Innovation Show here at MIPTV. For the last 2 days, while technicians and crews have been busy setting up the exhibitions here at MIPTV, right next door, a different group has been busy building the future of television. And I'm excited to share some of this with you today. We're going to show you a recap of some of the most exciting moments and topics from MIPCube, which is a new event that happened at the Gare Maritime next door over the last 2 days. And so today we're going to tell you a little bit about what happened. We're going to talk a little bit about the future of television and even show you some of the examples of new software that was developed over the last 2 days. Our first speaker this morning is Sandrine Dufour. She is the Executive Vice President of Innovation and the Deputy Chief Financial Officer at Vivendi. Sandrine, welcome to the Innovation Show.
Thank you, Robert. Well, good morning, everybody. It's great to be with you here today. We'll talk about the future of TV this morning. And I'd like to start from the user's perspective, telling that there's a lot, despite all the changes we see, there's a lot of inertia in the TV usage. TV is a deep-rooted family entertainment. It's been there for decades. Television viewing is huge. It's 4 hours per day in the US. It's close to that in this country, which means it's 2 full months per year spending your time in front of the TV screen. And it's growing. It's another plus 10 minutes last year in the US, even more here in this country. And it's a home screen. It's sitting in the living room. It's a shared experience. And you do not want to watch your personal stuff just on this big shared screen. Like for a kid, you don't want mom and dad to watch what you're watching, and they could not believe you watching it. So it's kind of a passive experience, lean back, whereas interactive is more on the smaller screen with a closer experience. So these are key things which are not changing fast. However, we have seen significant usage evolution over the last years. One is on-demand, and the second one is multi-screen. The on-demand, I think what strikes us is what we've observed over the last years in new forms of TV viewing. For example, the catch-up TV. It's now 1 person out of 3 in this country which is using the catch-up TV, and it's growing very fast. It's another 30% growth over the last year, and this way of watching TV did not exist a couple of years ago. Also, this has been facilitated by, in certain countries, for instance, the IPTV access, which is huge. Just in France, it's 12 million homes where there's a unique, interactive, connected full TV experience, which provides with catch-up TV, the VOD, the subscription VOD, the PVR, and the content on the multi-screen, the tablets, etc. And as I said, at Vivendi with SFR, we are a player in this field. The success of TV viewing on demand on the web has grown very quickly as well, certainly among a certain generation of viewers. Now, in the multi-screen usage, and we've been hearing over the last 2 days a lot about the second screen, be it a tablet or a smartphone or a laptop. This is what brings a much more convenient, interactive experience of interacting with the TV on another screen. This is where you can do some sharing, some social discussion, to interact, to have the EPG on your tablet. So this is how we see the evolution of a more convenient interface with the TV. And of course, the remote control interface with the TV is quite antiquated, and this is where we may see some real change and drive for the true interactivity with TV. So, of course, tablet is one of them, but we start to see new forms of interaction with the gesture control, and the Kinect is a new platform which open up innovation here. But down the road, we may see eye control or voice control to engage with the TV screen. Now, if we look down the road, there are core areas that I don't think we will see much change in, and one of them of course, is in the programming basics. I would think that the quality and the premium content will remain absolutely king. Sports will continue to be a live event, and the consumer will still want to watch the latest successful show, the latest successful series, and this is really the success of the original content strategy that Canal+ is promoting. On the programming and the selection, facing the real abundance of contents, the profusion of contents, means that there is more and more need for recommendation. And we see all these new tools providing algorithm-based recommendation based on your past usage, or recommendation from your friends through the social platform. But I think there is one thing which should really remain the core strength and expertise brought by the media programmer, bringing their ability to pick up the right editorial choice, to really package the content, to really promote the content, and the brand will remain absolutely key. Now, of course, further down the line, and again, no crystal balls here, but just some couple of hints on the experience that we've been having in our various businesses. Canal+ has been testing and experimenting new forms of content with transmedia, where they've built in reality games, for instance, in between each episode on the series that they own, for instance, season 2 of Bracco. And that has enabled them to build engagement with their audience. New way to drive audience as well is what we observed, for instance, very famous short format called Bref, which has created an amazing community on the Facebook platform, and which is now driving back the audience on the big screen. Another key trend that we really observe, which is getting an amazing traction, is the real-time interaction with live content and a Twitter platform, for instance. It's really a new way to augment the TV, the live TV experience when you're tweeting and watching a content and watching what people are commenting upon it. And these days in France, I'm sure we are going through an election campaign, so it's every day another boring political speech, and it's getting an entertainment experience just to read the tweet around the speech, because it's really another, you don't feel too lonely in front of your TV screen. And I'm sure there are many opportunities for TV producer to build in this interaction in the new form of content. Of course, future of TV is multi-screen and multi-format. We've touched upon this. And I would like to also mention the emergence of new TV channels which have been born online. For instance, in the US, we are a shareholder of Vivo, which is a music video site. We call it the new generation of MTV. It really builds a personalized, suited to your taste music experience, and you pick up a first artist, and then it provides you a playlist. And it's almost back to a type of linear experience of watching TV. Based on the artist you selected, it will bring you what you may like, it will bring you what your friends like, and it will allow you to discover new music video. And because there's no limit, no scarcity in terms of what can be broadcasted, there can be much more to come in these hyper-segmented, super-segmented new TV channels online. And at Vivendi, we are a major player in this new TV experience, and I'd love to show you a couple of snapshots of these trends that I have touched upon that we have experienced in our various businesses.
I smile when you smile. All I see is smiles for miles and miles right here, ear to ear. When I see you grin, I give in some. Smile, I wanna see you smile. 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 Smile. All I wanna see is your smile. It's so simple, but it makes it all better. Every time I look in your eyes, it's magic how.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandrine. That was a great quick tour. You kind of encapsulated everything we've been talking about for the last couple of days at MIPCube, everything from the two-screen experience and multi-screen distribution and social video watching and so forth. These are all topics I want to talk to you more about, but first let me introduce our next speaker. Geoff Sutton is the general manager of MSN International, based in London, and he's going to share some thoughts with us as well. So please go ahead and tell us about that.
Thank you. Good morning, delighted to be here. I hope you're enjoying Cannes and MIPCube and now MIPTV. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how we view the TV business and how digital is changing things. I think firstly, there's a lot of talk about content is king, and I think that is true. But what I want to try and show you is how the consumer is really in control and is in charge, and how that's changing very rapidly. We've done some research, ethnographic research, over the last few months. More than 100 people, 9 US states, 5 countries around the world, where we've gone out and really been with people throughout the day and watched how they're using and consuming content, news, information, entertainment, and how they're using different devices. We found there are 5 modes of content consumption, if you like, and they go from, if you like, lean forward, where you're going much deeper, doing research or work, or really using often the PC, moving through transfer, where you'll do something on one device and then move it over to another device as you're moving off to do something else. Always connected, so different devices, wherever you are, you're connected to your email, to the friends, to work. And then there's a commute. In London, we're commuting something like 90 minutes for every day, so we know all about commuting. So people using different devices to consume content while they're on the move there. And then finally, downtime, so where you're in the living room watching TV or just spending your leisure time. Different ways, and by then you're sort of much more lean back, maybe reading a book, maybe, as I say, watching TV. So there's these different modes of content consumption. And if you look at how people spend their time during the day, they're using those different devices and different modes of content consumption as they're going through the day. So when you wake up, you might use your mobile to check the weather, check the latest news, have TV on to see what's on the breakfast news. And then being connected through your device as you're moving into the commute. During the commute, you might read a Kindle, you might read a book or a magazine, or your iPad and look at latest magazine content, or maybe downloaded a newspaper to read. And then when you get into work, it seems that people then log on, and the first thing they're doing is checking what's happening during the day and really catching up. As we move towards lunchtime, there's a real growth in usage of things like Facebook, MSN, other entertainment and news and information portals, people using both their mobile device and also their PC to connect and find out what's going on around that lunchtime break, more of a sort of downtime mode. And then you get to time to go home. As you can see from this day, no one does any work. We need to sort of figure out when people actually have time to do any work. Somewhat alarming, because they're spending all their time looking at other stuff. And then time to go home, again, back on the train, back on the tube, reading a book, checking what you're going to do for that evening. At home could be watching TV, playing Xbox. A lot of times, certainly with my children, they'll be watching TV, something like The Only Way is Essex or Skins, and at the same time, they're on Facebook and Twitter sharing the story that they're watching, the show that they're watching, and they're completely engaged with the TV, but at the same time, connected with their friends as well through other devices. And so you see there's this huge range of how people are consuming content across different devices and at different times of the day and when they're doing different things. And I think one of the most interesting things that's happening is the computer is coming into the lounge. And so where it was just the TV screen and the computer would be in the kitchen or the study or the bedroom, now your TV is becoming a PC. You can play games. Obviously, Kinect has been a huge success and is revolutionizing the way people play games and how they interact with that TV. Xbox is becoming absolutely a delivery device for content. And with that comes great opportunities for interactive advertising and real groundbreaking advertising to monetize that experience, which is fabulous. What we're also seeing, I think, is, again, a big change in how consumers are adapting and using content. So a show like Mad Men, fantastically successful show, obviously promoted on things like Facebook and Twitter, but then what happens is that consumers take that and manipulate it. So on YouTube, there's spoofs and parodies for Mad Women and Mad Libs Men and different funny and entertaining spin-offs that are nothing to do with the original show. And I'm sure content owners and content creators are a little bit nervous about that, but I think it's great because it shows how consumers interact and believe in the show and take that content on. With the new series of Mad Men, in the first episode, there's a French song sung by Don Draper's new wife. That song just went out of control, and iTunes had to quickly get it up on it. It wasn't even on iTunes, and they had to quickly get it up there because everyone was trying to buy it. It just shows how the power of consumers, as they share information, share their passions, how that then develops. Equally with the whole thing is real time. So FOMO is fear of missing out. Consumers really fear that they're not going to be sort of cool and up to date. There's now must-tweet content. It's not just must-see content. Everyone's on top of what's being tweeted and following that up. We've just created a product called MSN Now, which is launched in the US, which is really trying to help people with this overload of information. It looks at the trends on Bing search, Twitter, Facebook, breaking news, and brings that through so you can see what's trending fast, and then we create content around those trends to try and make it much easier for consumers to understand what's important and so that they don't miss out at all. So with MSN, what we've been doing, we've been working over the last few months as everything's been changing and we're looking at what our business really is and what we need to do. We're looking at, we've established 5 guiding principles which really focus on what we think is important in this digital world. I think they're probably applicable to many other companies. Make Sense of the Now is all about real time, how you deliver content in real time, how you present it in the right way. People Powered is this whole idea of how consumers want to share, curate, and be in control of their own information, their own content. Getting closer to consumers, obviously we need to be on every device. We need to be on phones and iPads and the PC and TV, and there will be different experiences for each of those devices because of those different modes of consumption. We have a global network. We're in 50 markets, 500 million users. We need to use our network to really spin out and grow the content that we have. We work with partners for content. We're not content experts in terms of creation, so we want to work with people like yourselves to really develop great content and then spin it out across multiple markets and across our network. And the last one is absolutely critical. We want to make money. It's absolutely the core of why we're here is to make money. And so the experiences that we're trying to create for consumers, clearly we need to continue developing the commercial nature of them. So that's how we the research that we've seen on how consumer trends are changing and how we're trying to address those. So thank you very much. Have a great time here in Cannes. And thanks to MIP for bringing us here.
Well, thanks for that, Geoff. I have to tell you, as you were going through that day, that mythical day, managing from one screen to another, from my computer to my tablet to my phone to my television set, I had a sense of dread.
Yeah, you need a big bag and strong shoulders.
I was thinking all these new devices, they create a sense, it's not just the fear of missing out, it's the challenge of managing all of this stuff. Can you just tell us a little bit more about how Microsoft's developing some new solution to help me manage information overload? Because I think probably I'm not the only one who feels a sense of information overload here today.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is absolutely that feeling of information overload. Yeah. And what we're trying to do is bring together the different signals from the web to really try and make that easier for people.
Right, because there's content that people are pushing out, you know, publications and studios are pushing out, networks and so on. But there's also the trending topics, you know, things coming from Twitter and the Facebook feed and the other feeds that we follow. And there's a kind of heat map that's missing, I think. And I would really love to find out, like, what's hot now on Facebook and Twitter.
That's exactly what we're doing with MSN now, where we're seeing what's trending, and you can see what's coming quickly, what consumers are really interested in at that moment, and then very quickly adapt it to push it out on MSN. And it's been very successful so far, very well received.
When will that be here in Europe?
We're starting to roll it out across Europe. The first part is what we call the demand dashboard, which is like an editorial tool. So it does that trending work, and then our editors work on that, and then the consumer-facing MSN Now will be coming later in the year.
Because up till now, the dominant way of finding things on the internet, on the web, has been search. But the problem there is I have to know what I'm looking for. And if I want to browse, that actually has become very complicated because you have to browse across so many screens. So this is a way of solving the browsing problem.
It's a way of solving that, what's important to you and everyone at that point in time. And I think particularly young people are very, very, very keen on understanding what's hot right now. Yeah. They always have been.
It saves you the step of having to do that work yourself.
Exactly.
Well, that sounds really cool. You know, Sandrine, I'd like to ask you another question, but in a way, it's the opposite. The question here is, every media company today, whether you're a music company or a game company or a television company, you're faced with so many options. You know, every company is struggling with the decision, should I move into mobile? Should I start to build a new web experience? Should I partner with Facebook and maybe put my content there? How do you manage innovation at a company as big and diverse as Vivendi? You cover so many different businesses in your role. How do you manage that process of innovation?
Well, we've mentioned all these trends which are happening, like internet being everywhere, new generation born with internet, and growing network and speed, providing media content to be on all devices and content being shared across each other. And, you know, social network completely reshaping the internet. Actually, social network is the internet for new generations, and our smartphones, which is the new way to get on it. So this is the same background in which all our businesses operate, be it in telecom, in the interactive entertainment, the game business, music business, and the TV business. So we operate with the very same landscape, and of course it's a challenge to priorities, but innovation is a daily commitment for each of their businesses, and continually they need to test out new services and see what's work, what doesn't work. But on top of that, I would add that we've put processes in place so that we can provide and add visibility on the small, new, more risky project aside the big, more traditional established revenues, so that we can accelerate their development. And also what's key in a company like Vivendi is open innovation, where we absolutely need to be in touch with the outside world experts, get closer to the more innovative ecosystems, like the startups where they are, the geographies, be it on the West Coast or Berlin in Europe or Israel. And we've done a lot by trying to establish these bridges, and it's exactly why Vivendi is here, or was here, yesterday at MIPCube, and we worked with the 10 startups. So that's part of the innovation process.
That's cool. That concept of open innovation is a big one, and I'm glad to hear that major media companies are embracing it. Sometimes we from the media industry, we look at the open innovation on the web as a threat. And it's true that hackers borrow our content, sometimes manipulate the content and do something different, maybe something unexpected or unwelcome with it. But I've noticed both companies actually have embraced this hacker culture. Microsoft has done a brilliant job with the Kinect and allowing hackers to go out there and basically say, show us what you've got, right? And hackers have done some amazing things. I think we're going to see an example of that later. And I think it's
a very deliberate thing. It's a very deliberate policy to open that up and allow developers to find different ways of using that technology. And I think we'll see tons more innovation coming through Connect from that.
Honestly, the Connect made Microsoft cool again among the developers. It's a very cool thing.
Yeah.
I think so later we'll see an example of that. But you know, to hear about a major media company that's embracing open innovation is a big deal, because honestly from the software world, often the message you hear is about copyright and managing IP, and that sounds like you're trying to close things down. So this is a very refreshing approach. You know, we've had some other examples from major media companies. I can think of Time Warner and AOL as a great example of kind of forced integration or maybe forced innovation at a time when it might not have been exactly the right thing to do. Maybe it was a little bit too early, ahead of its time. Maybe it just wasn't great execution. It sounds like you're taking a different approach at Vivendi, a lighter approach.
You cannot force any synergy within companies like this. I mean, to the contrary, it would be a disaster, and we tested this like 10 years ago. Yes. So you'd rather create opportunities for people to meet and gather, and by having this exchange of people, they've gone through different experiences, they're able to talk and share, they discover complete analogy, be it on the mobile platform. Everyone with now different businesses testing new models at the same time. Yes. Social network integration, gamification, it's happening in the TV, it's of course happening in our game business. Same with the music, and music was very much ahead in its transformation through the digital. Yes. So it's an eye-opening for all our other industries, and having the telecom infrastructure behind as a platform to support and test is also helping. So it's much more around putting people in the same places and make sure that they interact and share their expertise and learn together rather than force and impose something.
That's a refreshing approach, because I think we've seen examples of forced synergy that didn't work so well for big media companies, so I'm sure that's very welcome. Now, both companies have a big stake, both Microsoft, your corporate parent, and Vivendi, have a big stake in mobile, and it keeps coming up. And it's no surprise. If you look at Apple today, Apple is basically a mobile company. They've basically become the iPhone company. It's more than half their revenue. And even the tablet, the iPad, now accounts for more revenue to Apple than all of their computer lines combined. This is quite extraordinary, a device that's just 2 years old. So it seems like the center of gravity has really shifted to mobile. But what a lot of the entertainment companies haven't seemed to figure out yet is, where's the money in mobile? How do you make money in this business? And I know you also have a second role as the Deputy Chief Financial Officer, so I know you care very much about this subject. What are your thoughts around monetization in mobile?
Yeah, well, we're not so much in the ad-powered monetization in our businesses. Our DNA is really subscription.
Well, then in a moment, Geoff, you can talk about that.
But when you think of subscription, for instance, in TV, Canal Plus has extended its subscription offer, encompassing the mobile as a platform. So you can get your program, you can get your access to mobile throughout the days as a multi-screen approach. And it's very much the same for our telecom business as well. You need to find your offer, your service on the mobile platform as part, the core of your service offering. But if you think of the music business, now you were quoting Apple, the iTunes is our major distributor, and what it brought was the mobile experience of music. But think as well of this new subscription model like the Spotify. The cool feature with Spotify was not only that you could get access to all your music, but that it was portable, that you could take it on your mobile. And this is also all kind of new avenues for monetization for our business. Same in the game, World of Warcraft. The new thing with our World of Warcraft game is that you cannot spend your entire day in front of your PC playing with your friends on World of Warcraft, even though you would love to do so. So the way to keep with your character all day is the mobile. You can check in on your mobile and see what's going on and interact, and this is part of the extension of our IP games that we're doing for all of our games, trying to bring this experience as well on this other screen. And
World of Warcraft is also a subscription game, so it was groundbreaking in that way as well. So the subscription model is one way that you've discovered to monetize in mobile.
And on the game, what we see lately, which is just amazing, is this new form of in-app. I don't know if you're familiar with this. So in the game, where it's a free game experience, but then at some point in time you want to buy this weapon, you want to buy this outfit, and it's traded items, and then you start to spend. And it has tripled over the last 12 months. It's an amazing new form of monetization in the mobile business.
That's true. It's entirely new for media to buy upgrades halfway through a free program. Well, Geoff, tell us a little bit about advertising in mobile, because yesterday I spoke to several ad agencies and the digital agencies. And they are very excited about the prospect of transmedia and multi-screen, but they expressed some skepticism about experimentation. And they actually mentioned MSN as one of the companies they can rely on. So tell us, how is it that you work with advertisers?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still early days on the advertising on mobile. We're still trying to figure out the best formats and what works best. The simple truth is there is no discussion that we ever have with any advertiser or any agency that doesn't include, you know, what are you doing on mobile, what are you doing on iPad, what are you doing across different devices. So it's an absolute must-have when we're having those conversations. And so I think bringing the whole package together is a big part of what we need to do, because they want to hit consumers where consumers are at the right time. So it goes across all devices. So I think that's where it all comes together.
Great. Well, thank you for spending time with me this morning. This has been an interesting conversation. Now, for the second half of the Innovation Show, Anne de KERCKHOVE, who is the Director of Entertainment at Reed Meadham, is going to take us through some of the things they discovered this weekend at MIPCube. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, good morning. I have such a privileged position. I now get to introduce you to all our winners of the MIPCube competitions. And our competitions went from transmedia projects to videos that have to go global to startup competitions. And to all the finalists, I hope you were here. You guys did an awesome job for the last 2 days. You were so creative, so dynamic, you inspired us, and you put so much work into your presentations that I really want to thank everybody who applied to all the competitions. And now we're actually going to show you stuff. We're going to show you the winners and have them present to you. I'm going to start with the lab. So our MIPCube Lab was the competition dedicated to startups. We specifically focus on connected TV and social TV this year because it's obviously such an important topic. And we were looking for a company that could really facilitate that new TV ecosystem that we're all talking about. So looking for disruption, but also looking for somebody that would really move things forward. On MIPCube, we're really lucky to have Vivendi, the Vivendi Group, as our global sponsor and their exclusive partner on the innovation front. And what I really liked with Vivendi is they got very involved in the program. And so you're actually going to see 2 prizes for MIPCube. One was the Vivendi Coup de Cœur. This is the company that Vivendi chose. They didn't want to influence the official jury, so they actually created their own prize. And their prize also is about bringing that startup into the Vivendi group and getting them to network with the group. So let's go discover our first winner. And I'd like to invite back on stage Sandrine to come and tell us a bit more about the Vivendi Coup de Cœur.
He just checked.
Thank you, Anne.
So Sandrine, you guys had an intense day yesterday where you saw all the pitches. And then I know you guys chose 3 finalists and then had a very intense deliberation. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, well, first, you know, I'd like really to say that this Vivendi Coup de Cœur Award is really an excellent opportunity for a company like us to get closer to this, you know, young, innovative digital companies. And as I said just before, innovation is a key pillar of Vivendi's strategy. So indeed, yesterday, the members of our jury included some of our Canal Plus colleagues, and we had a passionate debate. It was a tough call among these 10 companies to select the winners. But we ended up selecting, you know, can I announce who is the award? So after this intense discussion, we decided to award the Vivendi Coup de Cœur to a company called Jillian, which has a very well name, which is Sublime Video Solution. And the reason why we selected this company is because, you know, video is huge. It's growing on the web. It's really growing on mobile. And what Sublime Video brings is really a solution that meets a real need, a need to be able to have a simple player that works on all screens, on all platforms, And this is a need that we see within our companies, within Canal+, within our web music distribution in the music business. So we feel there is definitely a demand here. Also, what this company brought, and that was one of the other criteria, it's a very innovative solution. You know, it's cloud-based, using the HTML5 solution. And so combining this need plus this innovative approach, that was our choice. So we're very proud to hand out this award to Mehdi, who I think is
who's going to be presenting in a few minutes. Now, we actually had an interesting situation. So we had two separate juries deliberate pretty much at the same time. And let's find out from Ralph, who was heading the second jury, to come tell us about their choice. And there's an obvious reason why I'm not bringing the winner on stage just yet. Ralph, come and join us and tell us a bit about your deliberation and how you came to a similar conclusion.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank all the participants in the startup contest in the MIPCube Lab. I think we had a very high quality range of presenters, which really made it very difficult to make a final decision. I think in the end, well, I'd also like to thank a very high profile jury that we had that came from different parts of the industries, because obviously, as you know, we're talking here about people that on the one hand represent, let's say, the industry as it stands with the broadcasters, and then the tech guys that basically want to do the disruption. And I think it's always a very difficult task to judge between whether something is actually a great idea but will never actually make it into the marketplace because there's too much resistance, or something which is actually something that's going to happen. And I think with the jury we had, we were able to now make that selection. We had a very wide range of plays. One was a tech play, and you already introduced Jillian, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But we also had plays around the selection mechanism, discovery mechanism, which is also a very important mechanism here. We had things about how to introduce user-generated video into the, let's say, into the realm of let's say, professionally produced era. And I think in the end we decided for a tech play, for a plumbing play, and you already mentioned it, in the end, because it solves a very immediate problem of the industry. It solves something that is here and now. This is a problem that might go away in a couple of years. So as a venture capitalist from my side, I might say, you don't really know how this thing is going to play out. But the industry has the issue with the HTML5 standard coming in of a fragmentation. And this fragmentation issue was very nicely resolved now by the Sublime Video solution, especially since it uses the modern architecture of a platform as a service play, which basically means all future fragmentation problems coming up can actually be resolved from hosting the stuff in the cloud and basically taking the stuff back from the cloud. So I think in the end, this is one of these nice startups that I think by coincidence came across a problem that they didn't really know was relevant at the time. They actually placed their solution into the web, suddenly got 1 million uniques on their website, and in the end got a lot of praise from the internet experts. And it turns out that they really hit onto something. So I think this whole creation process is maybe very similar also to the creation process done in this industry, which I think is very astonishing.
Absolutely. And so now let's actually find out from Mehdi and have him present his company. So big round of applause for our double winner, Mehdi from Jillian.
Hi, everybody. First of all, thank you to the jury of MIPCube Lab. Thank you to also the Vivendi group for both awards. So, and I'd like also to congratulate all the other participants because we didn't expect to.
Mehdi, can I suggest that you talk? Yeah, because we'll hear you better.
Absolutely. Okay. So, good morning. So, I'm Mehdi Aminian from Jillian, the co-founder, and we are the creator of Sublime Video. So I'd like to tell you about the big change the web is going through at the moment and its big impact on online video. So the whole web is moving away from Flash, this is a big move, and is moving toward HTML5, the new standard, while Flash was a proprietary technology from Adobe. And if we look back in 2005, everything was very simple. I mean, Flash was on most of the platform, the PCs, the notebook at the time. It was very easy to develop a Flash player. It was a commodity, and to maintain it was very easy. But today, everything has changed. Adobe's just announced recently they are stopping Flash on mobile. It's big news. While at the same time, there is an explosion of mobiles, as you know, and 1 billion of them will be sold next year worldwide, so it's huge. And the problem is that in every of those platforms, including the browsers, HTML5 is implemented differently. So that means that creating an HTML5 player, which is now mandatory, and maintaining it is becoming a nightmare. And what was once simple on Flash is now incredibly complex with HTML5. So in this context, it is key to have an HTML5 video solution that works anywhere all the time. And Sublime Video is that solution. It just plays on any platform, any browser, and something even more tricky, on any web page. So to do that, we built the world's first cloud-based HTML5 video player. So you don't have to install anything on your server, on your website. In just a few minutes, you're up and running, serving your players to your audience. And when we detect a new platform to support, we perform transparent updates. You don't have to do anything. And we do that for thousands of websites that we serve through the cloud service. And if there is a problem somewhere, for instance, in a particular device, with a particular browser, with a particular page, we perform the maintenance transparently and update all our web publishers in real time, globally. And that makes our solution, of course, stronger every day. So I'd like to quickly share about our story with you. I think it's quite fun, because everything started by accident, as we said. So our team was working on a completely different web project at our university, which is EPFL in Switzerland. And then, for fun, 2 years ago, my co-founder decided to put online what was the first demo of an actual HTML5 video player. It was the very first one. We did a tweet, and then something amazing happened. In just a week, we got 3,500 followers, up from 0. We were totally unknown. In the following month, we got 1,600 mentions on blogs without any marketing. We went up to 9,000 followers on Twitter. We got 1 million unique visitors on that single page. And then we decided to abandon our initial project and move onto that one to make a real solution. And actually, we announced the beta of the world's first HTML5 video cloud player. After 6 months, we went up to 6 million video page views per month as a beta. We validated the technology, which was something very important, and we decided to commercialize it. 4 months ago, we introduced a very aggressive freemium options, which has the benefits of increased our user acquisition rate 13-fold, as you can see. It was cool. So in terms of customers, we have thousands of sites using us, web publishers, platforms, all around the world at the moment. Here are a few cool examples. And yeah, what about the market? It's huge, as we said. In 2015, there will be 7 times more video views than last year, and video will be 90% of all internet traffic, so it's big. In terms of competition, very quickly, we are the only HTML5 automatically managed video player solution on the market. There are standalone HTML5 players competing with us, but because they are standalone, they are not very reliable. On the other end, there are the big, full end-to-end platforms, but at the same time, they're a bit monolithic for a lot of people. So because we believe that for many websites out there are millions of them, potentially, along their content, their monetization solution, and their delivery deals they have in place, the really missing piece they might have at the moment is a truly robust, reliable HTML5 video playing solution. This is very important. And we believe Sublime Video might be for them the best way to migrate to HTML5 pain-free. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you both. Now we're going to move from the tech play to the creative play, and that's very much what MIPCube was all about, bringing those two worlds together. And I'd like to invite Geoff back on stage to tell us about how they picked the winner for the first category of Content 360, which was the video category. Geoff.
Hi, Anne.
Hi. So Geoff, tell us who you picked and why you picked them.
So the contest was really to find video that would create a buzz. And we had over 50 entries and some fantastic entries. It was a great competition. And a number of them we will work with. So the idea is that you know, we want to take some of the content and build it and distribute it across our network. The criteria was around being global, brandable, so we can sell it, short and simple, so less than 3 minutes, and viral, an ability to go viral, and most importantly, entertaining and funny.
Fun.
And so we came down to a final 3, and all 3 were great. We had a great debate about who should win. And the Connected Set and Tom Jenkins, his company, they were the winners with Crash Test Dummies. And I think it's fantastic. We're going to work with Tom. We're going to work with the other 2 finalists as well to see how we can take it forward. But I hope you enjoy it. I think it's a great piece of work.
It's a fabulous piece of work. Let's discover it now. Tom, join us.
So, thanks very much to Geoff and everyone else on the MSN jury. I'm sure you're out there somewhere. And to everybody else, hello. So let me start. I'm sure that all of you have seen a clip online, you know, that's just made you go, wow, you know, it's blown your mind, and you've posted it to Facebook, you've tweeted about it, you know, you just want to talk to your friends and start a conversation. And then when you're talking, I think you think, well, how did they do that, you know? Why did they do that, maybe? How was that possible? And that's what Crash Test Dummies is all about. It's about the science behind stunts, with a liberal sprinkling of comedy, of spectacle, of entertainment. So we really, really love making it. It's been a fantastic ride so far. I'm sure it will continue to be, and I hope you all love watching it too.
Welcome to Crash Test Dummies, the world's greatest stunts tested to destruction. This is the awesome Corinth Canal in southern Greece, and this is Robbie, who's starting to think that all of this might have been a bad idea. So what's the plan? The Corinth Canal is 85 meters across. That's the equivalent of 3 blue whales back to back. It's 80 meters deep, which is about the same as 7 double-decker buses. And if Robbie manages to hit this ramp in the exact right spot at precisely 125 kilometers per hour, then his momentum will counteract the forces of gravity enough for him to fly across, reaching a height of 95 meters above the canal. Robbie's bike is the Honda CR500. It might look small, but its 491cc engine provides the same power as 60 horses. So the stakes are high, and there's no guarantee that Robbie is going to make it. Here are a few things that could ruin his record-breaking chances. If he goes any faster than 125 kilometers per hour, he will generate too much momentum. Any slower, and gravity will win. And if the weather isn't just right, he could be blown off course, or he could regret the fact that he is travelling on a lightning-conducting machine. Let's find out. Did Robbie make it? So, if you want to get across an 85-meter wide canal, you'll need the right weather, the optimum speed, and the perfect trajectory. Or you could always take the bridge. That was Crash Test Dummies. In the next episode, we're headed to India to take on the Wall of Death, to witness the clapped-out banger battle centrifugal force.
Thank you.
Cool, so thanks very much. I'm here all day if you want to come say hello. On Twitter, I'm Wimbizzle. It's hard to spell, so maybe just come and find me instead. Yeah, thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Geoff. And now I'm going to call Fabienne Fourquet, Director of Digital Content at Canal+, and she's going to announce to us the winner of Content 360 on the Transmedia category. So, Fabienne, tell us a bit about your deliberation and how you chose your winner.
Okay. Hi, everyone. First, I'm going to talk about transmedia because there was a lot of questions on Twitter this morning about we still don't know what transmedia is. So a good transmedia project is a great storytelling, first of all, which doesn't only develop on multi-platforms, but actually develops, the story develops with the user's engagement as the story unfolds on the screen, but also on the web, and users actually get to create a different storyline, and the different storyline gets intertwined with the linear story. It's a bit complicated, but we'll see with this project a very concrete example of what that is. And the deliberation with the jury was quite long. It was 1 hour and a half, and we went back and forth a lot because all the projects presented had very different types of projects, from kids project to a fiction series. And this project, we felt, had a very, very compelling story because it was very based on current events, focusing on a very current issue, and unfolding both a story on the TV that was very compelling, knowing how people would react if anarchy, you'll see the pitch, but how the world react if one day we only had a little bit of money to live with, and would it be anarchy or would it be a new society developing? And as that story unfolds on the TV, people get engaged, involved on the web, and get to give you their advice, talk to the characters, and define what this new world order would be. And that was very, very innovative, we felt.
Excellent. And now let's welcome Benjamin Fèvre, Tell France series with Anarchy.
Wow. Okay. Good morning, my fellow citizens. So, first of all, Anarchy is a fiction. It's an amazing transmedia world. It's a fictional situation of crisis. Even if it could seem a bit real because of the Europe situation, we are sorry for that, because this situation has just caught up with us. So, imagine a world where the bank system has failed again. But this time, there is no government bailout, and France goes completely bankrupt. So, continue to imagine a world with no cash, with only 35 € a week to survive. And 35 € a week, that means 5 € a day. So, to give you an example, if you're driving a big black SUV, how far will you go with 5 € of gas? But if you're riding a small scooter, how far will you go with 5 € of gas? So, finally, in the world of anarchy, if you were rich yesterday, you'll be poorer tomorrow. I'm sorry for that. But if you were poor yesterday, you'll be richer tomorrow. So, I'm sorry, but it's a world of a revolution without ideology. So, what is the project? It's a project to explore a new society scenario. But first of all, it's a competition. It's a game. It's a competition to get into a script writer room. And how does it work? On the web and on the second screen, you'll follow an 8-week fake news site. And the most important point in this site is that the audience will be able to create sub-characters. And in the same time, you'll follow an 8-episode drama series, kind of a dramatic illustration of the overall situation of the country, in which you will have the elected characters created by the online audience. So as you saw, it's the first series in which you can become an author. We are on a very strong storytelling because we close off people problem, daily people problem, which is cash. And the story begins with the speech of our lovely president, in which he announced the 35 euro restriction and a 2-week period before the new currency release. So, yes, if he lie or not, I'll let you decide. I'd like to thank those who supported until the beginning, because transmedia concepts are very difficult to develop. The CNC and the European Media Program. Oh, excuse me. I guess it's Angela Merkel. Yes? Yes, Angela. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. It's Angela Merkel. She's upset. Yes. Okay. Okay, we'll keep it secret. Okay. She's upset. We stole her ID to make the French bankrupt. So please, keep it secret. Okay? Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A really inspired project, very obviously current and really interesting, bringing that new virtual newsroom and imaginative newsroom. And finally, we go off on a bang with the winner of our TV hack. And I'd like to invite on stage Louisa HEINRICH, Group Director of Strategy for Fjord, to tell us, first of all, what a hack is, a TV hack day, and then tell us a bit about the winner.
Okay. Right, so hack day. Rewired State put this together for us, and the main objective of a hack day is to get a bunch of really, really clever and really, really creative people all in a room together and think about a problem. So in this case, the question on the table was, what is the next giant step forward in technology for television? How do we make people's lives better interacting with television through creative technology? And the guys spent 36 hours on a boat in Cannes Harbor and came out with an unbelievably huge volume of great, great stuff. It was very difficult for us to make a decision as the judges. In the end, we were fascinated by quite a few of the ideas. There were a lot of things that addressed some very basic problems for audiences, which are also problems for broadcasters. There were a few things that had the potential to revolutionize the way that we measure the quality of content. And that also could have a really big impact. But finally, the winner was the thing that was most clearly breakthrough. And Aral is going to come out and show everybody in a minute. I think it will be abundantly clear why he won, because it really is magic.
Absolutely. I saw all the hacks, but this one just made me go, ah! So Aral, could you come on stage and show us Grab Magic?
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for that beautiful, beautiful introduction. I'm just setting up my iPad for my glamorous assistant, Emma, who also runs Rewired State, and her task today will be to press a button when I ask her to. Let's see if this connects. And if it doesn't connect, you might not have to press the button. Okay. Let's just see. Nope, that's not going to connect. It's fine. We will do without the button, Emma. Thank you. All right. Hi, these things happen. So my name is Aral Balkan, and I am a user experience designer and a developer. And today I want to talk to you about Grab Magic. And I want to start at the beginning, at the very beginning, where we all start out helpless, entirely helpless, and entirely dependent on someone else for everything. We can't do anything, we can't affect the world, we can't change things. But very quickly we realize that there are people out there who can. People who know how the world works. People who, in magical ways, seem able to manipulate it. When I was a little kid, I used to think my parents could read minds because they always knew when I was up to no good, you know? And I thought they had superpowers. And that's how we start to see them. We start to see these people as super people. And somewhere between puberty and extreme old age, we get to a point where we become these people. We become this man or this woman. I did really try to find pictures of super women as well, but the ones I found I couldn't use. I'm sorry. It's definitely gender neutral. And we become this man, And what happens when we've reached this point where we can manipulate the world and we can change things and we know how things work? This happens. Oh my gosh. Really, what is this? What are we doing to ourselves by making these objects that are so complicated and so complex that I can't figure them out and I know how to code, you know? This makes me feel like that little kid again, but trapped in the body of an adult. Really, seriously, stuff like this. I mean, what is it? I don't know what that is. Is that a frisbee? Can you fly a plane with it? I don't know. Don't do this stuff. Really, this is real. This exists. Look at that. Mute 2 times. I don't know what that means. I have no idea. And we see these things all the time. And I have emotional reactions to them. And I'm sure you do too. Who has emotional reactions here to things that don't work? Right? You don't just sit there. You go, oh, why won't you work? Right? And there's a reason for that. And there's a reason I'm so passionate about user experience. Think about it. Your lives are like the grains of sand inside an hourglass. Each grain is an experience. Experiences with people, experiences with things. Each experience is one that's waiting to happen, or it's the one that you're having right now, or it's one that you've had. And that forms a little pile at the bottom that actually makes up your lives. So experiences matter. And when they're great, when they're great, they can go beyond functional. Look at that. That's a sugar dispenser. But how beautiful, how polite that when I lift the spoon out, it opens for me. That's delightful. That makes me laugh. That's a beautiful, happy grain of sand in my hourglass. And sometimes, basically, great design is design that amuses and delights you. Sometimes, when you have something that's so simple, it becomes magical. This is how you buy a ticket for a train to the airport in Oslo. And you know how you work it? You have your credit card, your own credit card. You walk up to it, you swipe it, and then you walk on the train. And then, when you get to your destination, you swipe the card again and you get off the train. How beautiful. This is the experience. This is my experience. There's the machine over there. I take my card, go like this, and I'm on the train. And suddenly, I am Superman, right? Sometimes the best UI is no UI. Sometimes experiences are so amazing that they make you feel like super people. Great design makes the technology invisible and the experience indistinguishable from magic. So I call this the Superman effect. And I'd like to give you a demonstration of this right now with Grab Magic. So this is what we built, well, what I built in about 24 hours on a boat, as Louisa was saying. And I hope it's going to work. So we're going to switch over to my computer over here, and I want to take you through what's happening here. We have a Kinect, and we have a lovely camera person here, so you can see my front as well as my back. I'm sorry, I'm turning my back to you. We have an Xbox Kinect. This is a 3D depth sensing camera, so it can see in 3 dimensions. That's connected to my computer over here, which you're seeing on the screen, and everything's written in a programming language called processing. So I'm just going to run this, and we're going to pretend that that's my television. All right? So I'm going to run this, and it's going to start playing, when it runs, it's going to start playing a video that you could be watching at home in front of your TV. You're sitting on your couch, you're watching a video that's going to come on. At the same time, I have a low memory warning on my phone. That's going to be very interesting. Let's hope. I better do this quickly. Okay. Not low memory, low battery, which is worse. So you have your phone. You can see my phone over there. Now, this cable does not connect my phone to the computer at all. This is just so you can see the screen. And I'm going to launch an app. So I have my phone in my hand, and I'm watching the screen. So I just kind of wave at the screen initially, and it recognizes me. And I say, this is interesting. I want it. And boom, I transfer it to my phone. Did you see what happened there? Yeah, let me just show you again. Let's see. That's interesting. Boom. So I took it, I held it in my hand, and I transferred it to my phone. That is magic. And if I may, let me just say one thing. This is not something to be feared. This is something to be embraced. Think, right now, you're outside of the loop. When people take photographs of the screen, when they record videos from it, they share it on YouTube or where else, that has nothing to do with you. That has nothing to do with the people who created the content. With this, imagine that app was your app. And when they shared it, oh, let me show you that actually. May I just have my screen up there for the phone as well? So I've captured what I had here, so let me just wave at it. Here we go. Hi, I'm back. Hello. So I capture something. Let's see. I capture this. Boom, right? I flick it, and if I flick this, boom, I can tweet it. Okay? If I tweet this, it will go to Twitter right away. Okay? And that is a means of trying to be inside of the loop. So this could go to your website, and people could view it there. So don't fear new technologies. The world has changed. There is no going back. Let's find ways of going forward and creating things that are magical. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you both. And thank you all for your support. I hope you enjoyed this session. We certainly had a fantastic time over the last 2 days at CUBE. Again, a big, big thank you to all our partners. We don't run these competitions on our own. We have so many partners that help us curate and find this amazing pool of talent. And of course, my last final thank you has to go again to all the participants who entered the competition, who worked so hard on hacking on a boat for 48 hours without sleep, to all the people who submitted their business plans. Thank you. You guys are the future of TV, and we want to see more and more of you at MIPTV. Thank you very much.